Good morning. Or whatever it is, wherever you are. I might want to be doing some data stuff here. So that's you. Alright, database server. No. Am I using? I might actually be using this for... Well, it might be this process that's actually giving me the static files this is using. Okay, that's telling me that there's not a task there. Oh, no, there it actually is going. And then lies. It might take a little bit longer. Alright, so we were doing stuff with monuments, so I think I want to default that off for now. Because it is pretty noisy. Alright, and then what I want to work on is getting this stuff to integrate with everything else in the app for time selection. Okay, so that's done. So we should actually have a data server. We're probably going to want to start with sidebar open. Okay. Just had to get the compile in. Now, I don't know if I want to try and backport into these terms. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this thing at all. I should probably be looking at how I'm getting the things we send to the actual server and printing that somewhere, because that's the thing we need to make sure is updating when we select things there. Where? It's going to be like maybe a view message. Search. Select search mode. Select show. Fetch data for time. Okay, so that's based entirely on this right now. Fetch data later. Selected server, start time, relative end time. Just arc server ID, start, end. And you're probably similar. Fetch data layer. So this would completely replace that. And I guess, an integration of this would go back to there. So this would just be our top time range of our timeline. Now we used to have a model.time range. Do we still have a model time range? Yes. Is that getting updated? This is this is the timeline? Yeah, this is the timeline. Okay, and here's something in timeline that is also setting the range of the map, which we've been using as just the range of the timeline, irrespective of these selections. Okay, will you always have a value? Okay, so that's for a particular timeline. And we're assuming that the thing we're setting is going to be the top. Okay, so this is if we do a drag selection, it's going to set that. That's the only way they get set now. Timeline range. Set time range. Okay, so dragging does it. Now that's drag equals released. So this is the, when we release, if we were dragging. Okay, it says set time range. Okay, so this is the feedback from these controls. So is that... Okay, so yes, that's setting our top line range. This is a little funny that this is going outside of our selected range. So these things currently don't do anything with that. Okay, so I have feedback from here to there. And the change in this thing says we're setting the model time range. We have no feedback from here to here. Now, see, so server is after that time. That can be set. This only makes sense if we're up to there. So probably any selections on here, yeah, they're not going to be arc locks. They would really only go to this. If we were going to backpropagate it at all. All right, so fetch data layer. Fetch data for time? Which does the fetch data layer for blah, 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 blah. For the time in the current model. Okay, so both of these, well, so that one backpropagates to here. This, yeah, this kind of backpropagates. This backpropagates. Huh. I think they're kind of different. One's a 2 level, one's a 3 level. So it's actually kind of very similar to what this is doing. It's in model. What is this? So maybe it's the individual handlers for those things that are backpropagating? Or just we're kind of setting the time range and that's doing it. So we're not doing a switch like that as we were with this. All right, so that propagates to here. If this has been set, this should be set. We'll have to figure out the startup case. The other complication is we haven't really dealt with their servers yet. And the discrepancy between animation and using this for time selection. Huh. So maybe a play only exists if there's animation? The other thing I have to think about is there's actually a change in the map data, if there's animated data to begin with. When we went into timeline mode. And nope. Scrubbing through here would actually change that stuff. Would I be locked to snapshots if we weren't in actual animation mode? Okay, these were out of sync for a moment there. Oh, because this is hover position. Okay, so that's time. I guess over a really long period, you could technically play through snapshots. How's this going to work for something like you? Okay, well, we've got some issues there. Okay. I don't. Yeah, I don't have I don't technically have an end date for you. I just don't know when it got shut down. Wait, did I never take down the band simulation? I guess I didn't. Okay, so these are cannot reproduces. I'm just kind of keeping notes around. So these have life data. We've got ages. We don't have arcs. Oh, I guess nobody's been on server 1 in a few days. If we reloaded that, we wouldn't even be able to go into time mode because, hey, there's no animation here. If we got some life data, there would be. So I do need to separate timeline from if we have anything to animate. And should we be showing animated layers? How do we present the UI for that? Let's see if I got stuff in you. I just want to. Is this collapse or include? Oh, we could definitely move it down. That's more like a die. That could be interpreted as a YouTube. So that could be interpreted as animation mode. What would be... Huh. Picture, multiple pictures? Picture movie? They're not exactly the same framing, but they're both squares. Or we've got like picture movie. That sort of suggests a document though. I think that's pretty much all logos. So that's the possibility. I guess what I really want to do is switch to data selection by way of this, and then I need to get... See, that's just current time. Do I keep this around at all? Well, part of the problem is the arcs are actually breaking down. There's just so many that it's... Wait. Oh, am I getting feedback from the... timeline? Yeah, I must be getting feedback from the timeline here. Because that's saying the timeline, which is setting the arc, which is... Okay, so that's a thing. Do we care about that? Or do we just dump this control entirely? We can see... Well, it might be hard to pick out like super small arcs, but that's why you can zoom in. Well, this turns into spans at some point. All right, well, okay, so you do feedback after a fashion, you feedback, you feedback. So if we just went with this, it would mostly work. We just have this feedback situation. So when we set timeline, we set a time range. The model.time range should represent our top top time. I guess we could still fall back to this. We still got model selected server. So that compiles. Now, this doesn't place any limits on the time range we can use, but there is a limit on the number of records. Back on big server 2. We could do something like that. Oof. Did we just get told nope? Okay. It got truncated because it was so big. I didn't get any problem here. So did our code fail? Okay, so where does data come back? Fetch data for time. That calls fetch data layer, which returns on data layer. And we do not process lives here, it looks like. So do we get back? Well, do we hit this? It'll be a JSON, so we can actually print it. Huh. Oh, nope. Oh. And so we were in time mode. Oh, right. That's why we weren't seeing anything, because we were at a moment when there wasn't a whole lot. So we got a large portion of it in any case. Wait, why? Why do we have non-eves? Are those some bugs? Oh, because I didn't. So that was just a whole bunch of stuff. To whatever limit it was. And if we did something like that, we would expect some gradient, and well, I guess just back and forth. Right, it was just because we were in animated mode instead of snapshot mode. Which is one of the things we also need to work out. So that flips that aspect of it. So in order to test this on other servers, we're going to have to fix the animated versus timeline display thing. So that's a very small change right now. Alright, so we've got this. That would be two squares. They're not exactly the same ratio. We had this thing that looks like documents. Movie versus camera. So what we've got so right now is just on and off. There's no... I don't have a good precedent for an icon that... I guess I could do something like this where we actually highlight one of them. That would make it clearer that it's two alternate things. You know, let's see, so... Movie versus snapshot or camera versus... Well, these more suggest things that take pictures. Or this is a picture versus a movie. All right, so that's going to be image and film. See, I don't think I kept the zip file before, just the unpack. Now it's going to be Icomoon. Okay, Icomoon. Okay, no. And this is the one thing we need. Oh, did I? I might have renamed some stuff here. Maybe I stopped doing that. We can look at the diff to see. It shuffled stuff around. Huh, maybe before I was like grabbing the new stuff and just appending it. Because that's really scrambled. I think for that kind of difference detection, that'd be more useful. Man, that didn't keep anything in order. All right, so we've got you. Was it image? Yeah, image. Symbol, 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 symbol. Yeah. Okay, if it maybe it reordered the rest. That's why it didn't do those. Yeah, forward. Oh, I'd have to reorder them to see if there were differences in the individual things. Well, hopefully that's fine. Icon circle, icon image. I guess the question is, did I rename anything? Icon image, spinner. Oh. Oh, was this for a different project? There's locate. But I feel like I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff here. Oh no, this was for Hades. Okay, so that's why it's completely different. Okay. Uh, shoot. So I actually need. Okay, well, those were untracked files. So probably what I want to do is just delete that and then check it out. Because I think there's, yes. These are things are kind of annoying to, oh, actually. Don't they have like a projects? Yes. Okay, you can move down. And then this is where we want these. That's a much larger set of things. This is inside a commune. I'm going to extract document 5. Okay, that will hopefully have better consistency. Okay, forward locate, it put image in there. Film. It's got a little bit confused. Okay, so forward, locate, rewind ended up in different positions. But that probably means we're actually keeping with the names of things. Okay, icon, icon. Got those icons, those icons. Play, pause. So we added image and film. So these are actually leaflet buttons, aren't they? Sidebar toggle, anim toggle. Yeah, maybe leaflet doesn't give me good tools for these. So these are map buttons. Just 2020, no updates. Controls. We have zoom. Did I make this? Control.map button. I did make this. Okay, so I guess that means I could make a toggle too. Well, I called it toggle because it's a two-state thing. This would be a two-state thing where both were visible. We might be able to get some stuff from that. So it's going to be for me the same, partially the same function this used to be, but it's not a binary thing. I guess the real thing is I'm not sure whether to show the mode it's in or the mode it would switch to. And would it be clear that that's a control that changes that? I guess I could start with this. Oh, this assumes cancel circle. And it functions as a checkbox. I could still start with this to get some function, and then maybe we have to extend it to do that. So anim toggle. So actually, you're going to kind of become like timeline toggle. We're going to mess a little bit of stuff up. Toggle, yeah, and we're gonna have to rethink how this works. So this here really is going to be animation controls. Yeah, so timeline control is probably not going to have automated behavior like this. So we're relying on that toggle state. That's not going to be functional because of the messages. And yeah, okay, that's sending that message. This is not sending anything. All right, so this is message. Wait. Do I icon? Oh, icon time. So anim toggle. And you see, you've only got one icon right now. Yeah, so that's actually, oddly enough, we might be treating this as just as it's literally a toggle right now, and we're assuming our state stays synchronized. I guess also, like, what state do you default to? We're probably counting on this to update your status. Well, that's based on map stuff. Is this purely based on map stuff? Data animated equals false. We've been using that for the time bar so far. I probably need a separate state for that. Actually, what do we do? Life anim overlay. Life point overlay. Yeah, so actually you are going to follow animated status. In our current state, it actually does start at this, but that's also started at this and got synced by message. So the anim overlay is going to follow from that. This is different types of layers. They're going to follow from that. These are layers. They're going to follow from that. The legend control is going to follow from that. This is lineage, I think. Okay, so anim overlay is probably what we're using for timeline right now. Yeah, legend control, data animated. Legend control, base layer by time. Map time. That's probably just a reason. Toggle animated. And then we need another message for timeline stuff. It's just all bound together right now. I still find it weird that we say, oh, you know what, this is the active state, because it was when active, show that. So actually the timeline toggle, so this actually would be or anim toggle would be image for now until we can do a new control. Also, anim overlay. Okay, so there's data animated. That means it's going to be, or you need a message for that. Anim overlay. So this isn't an overlay. This is just, yeah. This would just be timeline, I guess. Because it's going to be very similar to sidebar. Hey, Liger. Good morning. String status? Oh, maybe that was the sidebar mode. Okay, command available. That has to get published there. You need, is this already, oh. Do I not have, I have a decode fail. It doesn't really tell me. Yo, you didn't decode something. And then you have to handle this. Hmm. So animated was Boolean. Sidebar had a definite status. What does toggle animated do? Data animated does some player stuff. It changes the search indexes. So I don't think we have to do quite so much. Model.sidebar. Do we already have a model.timeline? No. Oh, you know, at one time I did have multiple types of sidebars I could do there. Anyway, hope you're having a good day. I'm still feeling pretty tired. Sidebar, sidebar mode. Did we have... What's time mode? That time mode, okay. We had data animated. It's kind of around there. It's also kind of like sidebar. Okay, so animated down there. This is all sidebar stuff. Start with that, I guess. Sure, I need to start with this, and this is going to be another thing that will be eventually off by default. All right, so you're just going to be timeline equals not model.timeline. And add command, sidebar command. This does that strictly based on that. Sidebar also sets the search overlay, so it's not as complicated there. What are you doing? You're just doing this. But you're given the value, so we'd have to knot it again here. Okay. Now, that won't actually do anything. Oh, that's also going to... Okay, well, actually, that does a little bit. Because in our view, model.animated display timeline, model.animated show browse objects. Yeah, that's going to follow animated. Span date range. Okay, to as of. Object stats. Okay, that feels like it's animated. Animation options. This might... Animated... Monuments on time. So I've got a timeline thing here. I could do a timeline. Potentially do a timeline check here. I don't have any sub options for it though. So this is animation options. That's going to follow speed in frames per second. That's fine. Oh, I guess we wouldn't end up showing this play button unless we were in animated mode, probably. Because that would follow from that speed stuff. Show browse objects. Yeah, that would be browse, span data range. I think we were looping. I might have to send an initial message here. because this isn't in sync. Map UI. Yep. Timeline, model.timeline, which you don't actually receive yet. Actually, you might just be... Did I call this like timeline visible? Anim overlay, anim overlay. Just timeline. Okay, so you're not going to toggle animated. You're not necessarily changing layers. You're not necessarily updating the legend, so it doesn't need to redraw. There might still be, see, what's how big? Okay, so you're actually very, very... Sidebar toggle set check status equals life. Oh, is that the tab it's on? Huh. I mean, we could get away with just this at this point. Okay, so this is initially correct. We can talk about on and off. I don't like how it sits relative to this. So I probably had something that came along and added it after the fact. Add control. Layers control. Control.scale. So we're going to need to... Yeah, sidebar toggle, timeline toggle. Looks like we did timeline toggle dot add to map here. Okay, so that gets that order nicer. And probably this thing would only make sense in timeline mode. Because otherwise you have no control over what time you're looking at. I mean, short of falling back to this stuff. So then we do, well, let's see, so we either have a function here that deals with that, or we just make sure to do that on the Elm side. Huh. So I might have to keep animated irrespective of what's currently displayed. So maybe because we do a different bunch of stuff based on what kind of timeline mode we're in. Or kind of time mode. I guess you don't have to if you're doing like object searching or something. You could jump to those times without having a timeline up. That would also let you like hit play and then close the timeline. I'd have to leave this control up though. Okay, so we actually need to improve that thing. I might do that as a second step. For now, we actually would want to kind of start off in animated off mode, so that's going to be somewhat, there's some stuff in model. Okay, so that's all here. Okay, overrided it somewhere. Wasn't there something we just said it was? Oh, this used to imply popping up timeline too. There was a thing. It was a toggle animated call. Where we were checking if the stuff was animated. Or was animatable. There we go. Set time range. Okay, so I pulled this code out in case I wanted it. We just kind of stopped changing it. Is in range. So animatable could maybe still be a thing. Now I have to remember what I was doing with this. We've been calling down to a function, so I might have to do all that setup for a modified model. Or timeline range has to deal with this. I could do an animatable there. But there is a model update. It's actually operating through timeline range, so all paths go through there. Does this have everything we need? Does not. We need a time range. There we go. And then we would say... Now this isn't remembering user choice if we go over a point where it's not animatable. Okay, so you start off in static mode. Where am I? What am I looking at? So right now, if we scrub, we're not even changing spans right now. Oh, we're over a... Okay, so you sub-selected something very small. Over this entire thing, shouldn't there have been more breaks? This might be too wide of a time selection. Okay, there's multiple spans. Okay, that feels like it's in snapshot mode. Yes. Oh, no, that's accurate, actually. No, that's still operating in snapshot mode. So this is not functional right now. Now we're clearly doing something with this. It is causing a refresh. Are these not sending time signals, maybe? Well, no, we're changing layers. Oh, okay. Okay, that's snapshots. Oh, that was a drag. I don't have a good way to clear a selection right now. Oh. Whoa, wait, okay, okay. Right, I'm getting some extra lag from redrawing these timelines. All right, so that's a step. And I need to rewrite the control so we have a better idea what's going on here. I mean, just being able to set the alternate here would give some feedback. I don't know if it would be good, though. Okay, echo, we didn't get the zip file. No, whole map. All right, so this is map button, map button. I must have copied this from somewhere. Okay, so we have... Huh. So we've only ever sent a signal and counted on it to stay in sync. Oh, you were checked. Well, it's still 2 states, so I guess that would work. So technically, cancel circle. Was the icon off or on? And the message is but default. Map button toggle. Jeez. It's going to init in the false state, I guess. If checked. Oh, no, that's not gonna... That's not gonna be quite it. So we actually want to highlight one of them. So we have an overall container. We have a link. Inside container. We have a... However that works out. Actually, I guess it would probably make more sense to do like that. He should probably handle this directly. And, oh. And it might all... Maybe I should send some extra data? We shall see. And this is probably going to turn into redraw. This is kind of like the slide switch radio. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what? Oh, I need two titles too. We probably don't have a second child, do we? First, oh, well, last child at work. Hmm. I could have a thing that did this given arguments. Then we could do, and I have to do some highlighting at some point here. I need in their title. Okay, so the first is going to be static, which is going to be off. I could probably even look up the trick to use a checkbox to drive a bunch of CSS stuff. Okay, sidebar toggle, anim toggle, and we did a little function for it before. Following leaflet convention. Icon off, icon on. Oh, title. We need to add two titles now. Okay, this could be a total lack of styling. Huh. I'm not sure how much this I'm going to have to change. Okay. That was interesting. Oh, okay, this is just messed up syntax. Okay, so it's not CSS. Okay. Unless I'm missing something more. Sidebar role equals button. Oh, there is a little bit more. Theme support. So it has no color. Could possibly come up with a better name for the inner control. That's getting a little confusing. Okay, so that's our default icon and our default icon. So that's not working. Oh, because I switched you back to map. Trying to figure out what's going on. And we back to nothing. There's that map toggle, that map toggle. Options on add. Okay, we are adding it. Okay, we're not actually using our status right now. Oh, options.icon. Okay, well, that's probably a large part of our body. Okay, well, that did something. We can at least find it now. Oh. Icon snapshots. Okay, so I guess I used the title as part of this. Icon. Oh, that I did. I mean, 6 one, it does the other. Okay, well, now we're seeing icon film, icon image. They're the wrong size. Maybe it's just size? Shadow rope closed. Where do we see that? It would be in there. No. Application? No. Maybe that's a Chrome thing. To have all the files. Symbol defs. I can't view you as text. Okay, there's icon film. There's icon image. And I had icon snapshot there before, so this is a size issue. So the height and the width. So why are you 36 and you're 44? Okay. Okay, so that's that thing. Oh, did I replace some toggle with toggle on, toggle off somewhere? Icon. Where is on and off? Because I don't pass that around anywhere. Oh, maybe. Okay, this was just toggle. Now we've gotten on and off. We're just gonna have to do some stuff with that, perhaps. So toggle. So all of this stuff. Oof. A lot of this is going to apply to both. Really. And I guess I can just make two CSS rules. Well, it's almost there. It's functional, it's just not actually drawing. So is this a picking the icon issue, or is this a color issue? Well, I guess I could use some old icons to just to test that out. What was it? Filter? Okay, no, it doesn't seem to be that. Because I think a very small section in there. Oh, you do different titles. Okay, icon image, icon filter. If we reload, that should be film again. They're functioning appropriately. G-class, use. Shadow root close suggests we didn't find... Well, actually, we can check this. Aha. So it is not correctly looking that up. We kind of tested this earlier. Yeah, the icons work fine. So what am I doing different here? Icon, 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 icon. Well, there's this first child, last child stuff. So we're definitely getting an SVG there. It's got that much right. Okay, icon image. We're not getting it. Did I get the class names quite right? Map toggle off. Actually, can I just change your color? So it would be setting it here. You should have a color. Doesn't look like the right color. Or was that that at the SVG level? Yeah, it is actually SVG. Which would be this. I can't tell if that's this. Okay, so it's not a color problem. I feel like, why are we not getting this image? Oh, do we have some general... some general icon setup stuff to do on a per basis? Is there something... No, because we We can. Okay, I was editing that one. It definitely changed the color. Oh, that was all of these icons because they're all in the same thing. Why is this one thing not grabbing the? So if we switch it to a, if we try to switch it to a button, everything's fine. Oh, am I possibly using some default leaflet styles? No, that's JS. No. Pop-up close button. No. All right, what can we do to move you back? We can call this a button. Is it supposed to be doing the same thing? We ever do contained within each other? Huh? I thought those always went to the same places. That was a size change. And this isn't really used for any size stuff? Oh, but that's because that sets the class name for the derived things, and now it's on and off. So it looks to me like we're getting a proper icon in here. It's icon image. Symbol defs, icon image. And something's there, so it's not like I messed up this thing. I have no idea what's going on. Start from scratch. Evolve it slowly. Toggle, 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 toggle. Okay, everything still works. Let's try all the style changes. We didn't fix this. Okay, that still works, so all those styles are fine. We could go ahead and turn... Let's start renaming some things. All right, so we've got icon. Redraw. If we just do that as a there, it would be that. And that's just a parameter. Okay, so that does a toggle back and forth. Everything's still fine. What if we extract this? Okay. It is the name Node back? Bad? Is it something silly like that? No. What? Oh, we lost the icon in that process. So we have to have at least that. But we were getting that value before. Let's keep this for now. Let's keep this for now. Okay. We can do that. Can we do this inline? We can do it inline. Can we use the name node? We can use the name node. Chi. So there's icon. We haven't updated you at all. Title. Someone abstracted that. You're getting past an icon. So first child is just going to be this dot options dot icon off. Okay, not going to change. Can we add the second node? Okay, so step one, deal with some of this stuff. So we're gonna do off first, I guess. Okay, it's still visible. Okay. Okay. All right, update. I don't know. Now I'm wondering if I should actually use like a sub for this. No, actually you're off. So this step has lots of room for problems. We probably can't get intermediate incremental updates from here. It's just gonna replace the sub object. All right, icon off dot icon on dot I. Oh, you should be. We're not even using this parameter anymore. You were taking an icon, so we'd only call you with something. So I guess we call you with that. And we have to work out what that means for actual selection later. So you could technically take that. And something. I'm not getting an error message. Oh, an error shut off completely. Okay. After property list. Okay, so this is where we instantiate it. We're still there. All right. Now, because we're not changing state, we need a way to highlight one of these. What you program? Are you talking about the application? Are you talking about the language? Are you talking about in general outside of today? That's just editor. And I want to deal with you. The thing we program now. So there is a game called 1 Hour 1 Life. It is a massively multiplayer online game, and where people make change in a world. So we have, and the dev publishes map logs of all the data. So that's gonna be the noisiest one. So I originally started with just the biomes, and then we had the data, so I started making an application that would reconstruct all of the events. I'm rebuilding this timeline now, so that doesn't exist in the online version. So this is there. Actually, we don't need. I mean, it'll take you there automatically. That is the current version. These timeline controls getting a little clucky, especially in places where just the advancement of history is making these sliders rather clunky. So I'm rebuilding it to where you can sort of do this multi-level drill in to get the kind of precision that you might want. Now I've lost track of where I was working here. Was it this area? Yeah. And at the moment, I've currently got these toggle controls for the sidebar and stuff. And I want to make it clearer what the function of this thing is, because these are just on and off. This is static snapshots versus if we're in snapshot mode. If we go back through history a little bit here, we've got too wide of history right now. So this looks like about when this place gets settled. If we zoom into around there. Oh, did we get back in snapshot mode? Oh, I did it in toggle mode. I do need to add a parameter to this, I guess. But then we can go back and forth between the static snapshots, which were a lot lighter weight, and the detailed animation. So yes, there's backend stuff that processes the data. There's the Elm is running all of this UI stuff. I'm using an off-the-shelf leaflet library to do tiling maps and like basic zooming and panning and turning layers on and off. So immediately I need a way to indicate which state we're in here. All right, so you are off. So this is going to be highlighted if it is not checked. You're going to be highlighted if you are checked. Okay, with the structure of this thing, I cannot do a big background type of thing. So it's icon, blah, blah, blah. And that actually closes it out. So we could go ahead and put some other stuff in here, although we're running out of space. Plus, if checked, it's going to be nothing. I guess we could do, if checked, then, is it okay for you to write in the chat? Are you... Is it not your first language? Doing it for everything would be a little bit of a disturbance. Ah, okay. Okay, so we've been doing leaflet control map toggle. And you have to have space. Is that going to be specific enough to highlight? I guess if it's farther down. Okay, so we go dark, light. What is my selected color? View. Can I find something that is that color and inspect it? Oh, that's a, that is. Background color. Well, there is an RGBA version of it. You still don't want the 59, 153, 250. That's not actually palette dependent, I don't think. Light theme, dark theme. Yeah. But for specificity, uh-oh. Checked. Oh, right, we did highlight here. Okay, and we are not properly updating this status. Oh, we're not. We passed. Okay, so we do set checked. Oh, I mean, we're not doing set checked in here at all. Okay, false, false. That's correct. True. False. As the class. Maybe we just misspelled it. Okay, so our last was false for check, so it should be that one. Draw map toggle highlight. If I control map toggle highlight. Is this getting shadowed out improperly? Oh, you're actually up here. Are you just more specific? Oh, so we were actually doing it at this level. This is doing it at that level. Oh, or does this RGB even work? Oh. I might need that to be proper syntax. Doesn't give me any warnings. Oop. Okay, fine. All right, let's see, we're in dark scheme. Let's try this. I'll break it. Okay, so it can in fact do that color. There was nothing wrong with that statement. That should cause it to update. So I guess the containing color is overriding the interior color. Oh, because I put SVG inside. Did you learn to code? If I'm coding, I think that's a little bit of a given. Are you asking something more specific about how I learned to code? Okay, and right now this is all one control, which I guess is okay since it's kind of okay since it's a toggle. I don't really know why you'd click on the thing you're currently on. And I guess I should check the light mode real quick. Ooh, okay, so those rules aren't working. I mostly learned it on my own. I did go to computer science in college, but it's a Bachelor of Arts, so it wasn't like it was the major, but it wasn't anything more than that. Well, I mean, I have since done it professionally, but it was mostly me on my own wanting to make games and stuff. I guess I kind of fallen out of actually the making games part. I, I think to a certain extent, I started hearing all the things about EA Spouse and massive overtime and crunch time and stuff, and got a little bit disillusioned with that. All right, so if we don't allow you to say, well, you definitely want to be there, and actually send out the message, just treat this as all as one button. So this is going to always be on, which is it's a little bit extra UI. So should this imply timeline, or should this imply animated mode? Well, I guess I need to commit this thing first. There's some stuff I want to rename. Looks like I should commit a working version first. Um, uh, okay, possibly just that. Leftover, leftover, leftover. All my bugging. It'd only be on this, right? Okay. Fix that up. All right. So it's dash toggle in the map button. Map button icon, I guess. Well, that's the link. The icon is kind of technically the link inside of it. What would you call the active area? Button? That sounds silly. Um, active might imply a state that is on, similar to the on and off that we've got. Target. Body. There's a toggle. There is body. Button to toggle. Okay, and then these things seem to still be behaving. Okay, so we've separated animation from timeline. I'm just going to have to use that for a while to see how certain things feel. Uh, it's a little bit of a hybrid. The central map and then the stuff I was just working on was JavaScript because this is I'm kind of integrating stuff with the leaflet controls that are on the map, and that's in JavaScript. The framing controls are in Elm, which is compiled to JavaScript, so it can play with that reasonably well. But it has a lot more safety guarantees and a nice layout library and things like that. I guess I should have actually put down JavaScript for today. We're doing a lot of map integration stuff. All right, so there was that feedback concern, which I don't know if I'm gonna keep these. I need to start looking at where the rough points are. This is going to affect switching to. So what happens? We go to some other server. Okay, so the animation is not available. So that's correct. We have no animatable data. Okay, fetch failed. Is that why we weren't able to bring this up? Okay, so this is a misfit point. Opening timeline on no anim servers. So is this... I want to know the messages going back and forth between. So you command so there's monument lists. We do that. Oop. And we trigger out some other stuff. Oh. The timeline messed with the sidebar argument. That's oops. And probably I copied around some code and it all kind of worked. Timeline. Oh, and then I copied a message.status. So that control actually wasn't even working. I guess I just never went and clicked on it. Or maybe I saw it disappear and I didn't test it going back up. Is status fine for that? I think that was doing sidebar mode, so status might be fine for that. Okay, so this actually is a toggling issue. So why was this working before? Okay, oh, so that worked. And that works. Actually, now timeline's from Elm. So we actually, So there must be some other check going into that, because we actually are updating that. All right, well, we had one oopsie in there. That's a definite. Now, so Elm's view is not actually updating our timeline stuff here. If model.and time range not equal to nothing. So that probably gets set from fetching some of the data on arcs and things. Should I allow you to turn on the timeline if the time range is not available? Well, let's see. So we're currently set to show it at first, but we're not going to get the time range for a while. So that comes from setting timeline range. So we might never set that. If we never get that data. What are we doing that's actually setting that? So you're not saying that directly. So this is probably like timeline range. So that's a drag end. So no. Set time range. Set time range. Time selection for time is a possibility. That's hours after. Select matching life. This is from life data. Okay, so there's one in arc list. There's one in span list. Would we ever have an arc list without a span list? They both refer to map data. Arcs, I think arcs exist without spans. Although that server, it so happens that server still has a span list. It just doesn't cover the same range. So you probably want to say if there's no... I guess in theory you could have a server with map data that would have spans that might not have map resets for arcs. Okay, time selection for time. Or maybe we should just set a default time range. Time range have to be at least our default value here. Okay, equals nothing. So we don't have a default value at all. When we get this server information, and I think that's probably a precursor to getting span and arc. Config, a home map, object servers, probably. Assuming we know what server we're on. Let's see, server list. Selected server, servers, we have a start time. We have a time select, wait, wasn't time selection for time doing something? Only if we have a time. We do a time selection around that. Well, actually, since we had a thing in here, we do have a time. But we have no arcs right now. Well, no, that's still going to default time selection around. Which doesn't set a time range. It sets up this stuff. But we only set a time range if we had an arc. Model.time. Okay, so that's the hours before. For some reason, we have that? Is it the only place we use you? Yeah. Although if we're setting a time range, we should actually be updating the timelines to go along with that. Arc2 range. Set time range. Do you do commands? No, because this thing is model to model. So this is start time, start time. I guess it would be up to model.time. Since we did hours before. Okay, so now you're able to do a very large period. This might be the current age, maybe? So server, 2 days after the start, and the start is here, so we go back. How did you end up so wide? Maybe something else came along and replaced it, but it just had to have a selection already? Okay, so we don't do anything. We have some different endpoints there, but we're not updating this. But some of these could have very different lifetimes. So that might be a point for refinement. And this works on reload. Yeah, it works on reload. I guess time is always current time, so that just always goes up to there. And then this thing is always the server range, which depends on the last time we had a recorded life. So this is an uncertain, but we can actually do this now. What else can... I'm just not sure if I want to sync, fully sync back to there or not, because I might just drop this. I guess, what does it mean for like my daily workflow? Timeline. Sidebar. Okay, so we would normally drop into some default view. So that's there. We'd go here, we'd go there. So that, yeah, we're in static mode. So we'd start off looking at this. And we'd go look at some other stuff. And then we actually have a two-step process. We look at that and we look at this. And actually, play does restart. And we do some more suitable framing, but Okay, so yeah, these are snapshots. They're not gonna. Let's make sure that this stuff is moving. Yeah, objects are moving. The only thing that seems awkward is that we have to change both of these. The other thing we might want to be doing. Uh, Play button with no animation is a question. I guess over a long period of time you could animate snapshots. Well, snapshots are associated with animatable data. So I probably need to drop this. See, I can think of reasons to use these two things independently, and I can think of that a typical workflow is going to want to say, well, if you're opening the timeline, you want to animate it, or if you want it animated, you're going to need the timeline. Now, this is also a selection method. So I guess opening this doesn't necessarily imply that if you're looking at snapshot stuff. Going into animation mode, maybe it implies timeline, and then you could close it if you want to. But if we are... This might be a synchronization issue itself. Okay, yes, we changed servers to one with no animatable data. Well, we might have still had the life data from the other one up. That might have been the issue. So if we go back to here and reload, and like do that or something, and then go here. Okay, yeah, just okay. So because we had life data available, we technically had something, even though it wasn't for that server. So that might be its own little bug. So go there, that disappears. Should you be able to play that? Okay. That's notable. Okay, so that's more of its own bug. Although I guess it kind of falls in with timeline stuff. I guess the only thing you could animate would be The appearance of monuments. Getting very lagged out from the biome updates. So that probably makes sense. Okay, so you have the entire model. I might have to pass an extra piece of information down to you. Case model.player. I don't think the player itself is ever disabled. So you player. I think this is animated here. So we're going to kind of need that along with this stuff. Do I have a signature for you? I guess not. Okay, that type checks. Oh, this is not animated. This is animatable. Well, no, I guess animated playback. Okay. Can maybe use some margin there? Let's go back to you. We've got data. Oh, yeah, we had, I mean, this is partially to have some button room, but... You had padding 4. It's a little bit inset. Maybe I should just make that an empty spot so it doesn't bump over. Ooh, it changes height a little bit. This must just be a bigger element. Okay. Which aspect is doing this? So that is indeed the padding, but this thing it has no height. I don't know, that might not be right. Actually, no, I can tell you that's not right. Because this thing, well, that thing. Okay, so that's 40. That's 20. No. Oh, 20 by 20. 32 by 20 with 4 padding. This thing has a height. Do we reload after the proper rebuild? Maybe nothing can't have a height? Oh. Or maybe it can't have padding? Oh, no, padding actually spaced this thing out. Huh. Or maybe the icon itself has some extra padding in it? And this is data animated, which might not actually switch off there. Animatable. This is in timeline range. And that is actually data animated. Which is not the same as animatable, I guess. Let's see. So is this something that's happening actually in Leaflet? This is okay. The appearing and disappearing is something that's happening in Leaflet. But I want my play button to follow the same rule. That it's not quite chicken. Chicken? Welcome. C cane. Okay. You're right. I was putting a CH in there where it shouldn't have been. Yeah, there's been a couple of the like big name people from conferences and stuff who have been streaming every once in a while. I think it was more of a early pandemic. What do I do kind of thing. I haven't seen him as much lately. Yeah, one time I went into programming and like found somebody who was like, first time trying to learn Elm and helped out a little bit, but I don't actually browse it enough, and there's no real way to like follow a search term that I know of, so it's kind of hard to find. Uh, Actually, somebody said that they set up a like a functional programming directory, but I'm not always programming Elm, and I'm often doing games as well, so I wasn't quite sure that made sense. So do I let Leaflet tell me if we have animatable layers? So right now that's been a Leaflet control, so we can kind of turn that on and off. But now we want our play button to follow that. To a certain extent, it does follow from what we can show on the map. And we might not have all of that data locally. If our current time is in the range that we're setting. I'm not saying animated. The easiest thing to do right now is have Leaflet tell me. So right now, but that Leaflet does that check when we're toggling animated stuff. And there's all the places that it reacts to that. So if we toggle, anim overlay is that animated status. Oh no, this is the actual toggle. There was something else. No. Changes stat. Toggle animation controls. Base layer change, overlay add, overlay remove. So this has to do with what's actually on the map. Object bounds. Okay, anime overlay does hit that. Data overlay add remove. That will affect it. Checking that again on, it looks like base map changes. So you're setting the status, making sure it's on the map. Huh. You're also setting the checked status. Which I guess could technically put us out of sync. But if you're actually setting that, could we kind of get a feedback? Strangely enough, this hasn't caused a big problem before. Because I'm almost tracking the same thing. I wonder if this ends up... Yeah, the control itself shouldn't have sent a message. Could be a synchronization issue though. So the end result of this is we would have to know if we were animated, static, static or snapshot. Or unanimatable. So that could become a type. This thing would give us one of those results. If we're constantly sending it back to Elm, we have to see how often that happens. Well, I can tell you how often it's going to happen, right? Okay, we have a couple on startup. We're on another server currently. Okay, I got 2 there. And she didn't change anything, strangely. I guess this is for things that can sort of externally change it. Oh, well, that did. Oh, I was just incrementing the count. And it is going up by 2 per. What about when playing? Okay, we're not doing it while we're doing that. Now, if we go over some sort of boundary, maybe. Yeah, as we go over the span boundaries, it's checking. So that means you could drag it out of an animatable range and that won't kill your time control, it would just kill these. One thing we might have to watch for is a timing issue if we're like sending messages that are adding layers and updating layers and things. And there's like a little bit of flicker there. Okay. So do I currently send messages? Whatever. App.ports subscribe. Leaflet event. Yeah, looks like we're kind of doing some whenevers. We're tracking layers. I don't know if Elm is super aware of whether those are animated layers or not. Right, because you were tracking down animated and using that to control which static or animated layers to add. So mostly we'd end up getting feedback on whether there was anything that was actually animated or not, or animatable or not. Let's see, are you the one we're looking at? Yes. So we could call it a couple times, or we could just get a value that gets sent there. So it was data animated. And so it's not going to be just true. I guess it could be null. I've been calling these static here. Well, it's kind of snapshots. Animated. Not available? We're using that for remote data right now. Oh, what do you call something that's just completely unanimatable? Inert? All right, so that would result in an undecodable event to leaflet, which we don't really have any debugging for right now. Oh, anim toggle. We might end up getting both, I guess. Actually, I think this only does this, and then we end up sending the status back to there, which will end up doing some other stuff. There's going to be a duplication, and then this. Now you see, I need to go define a status. Are you including model stuff? Or including OHL data? Is model including leaflet? Yes, it is. So I guess we define this here. So it's not just animatable. Well, I guess it's kind of animatable if it's... we call it like, what, static, animated, and it's gonna be like more like data continuity, data status. We called the message data animated. I think those are technically disjoint spaces. Okay, so everything's mad because we're not handling messages. Okay, so technically it's the handling of this that it's upset about. So we have something that has a... Well, technically we have to decode this, this type. Which maybe we want a thing for that. Okay, you're only a single thing. This is gonna have to be... Huh, have I been decoding these things here? Name, lives, min, max. I might have never dealt with this kind of enumerated thing here. Map. Animated. Initially as a string. Decode dot and then okay, static. No, wants this. To static. Animated to animated. And we have to catch all anyway. Because it's a string. So nothing's going to compile until we actually get a handler for this. You're going to be a little bit like that. That's probably eventually have to do something different too. Well, that's viewed. We need leaflet anim toggle. So you were just Boolean. How much are you doing? I mean, you should really probably be. I mean, it was called toggle. You're used there. It's also used from there. This is called toggle, isn't it? But there are consequences that deal with the status of our... so the quick fix to this is it is animated if it is equal to animated, and then we have to go expose all this stuff. Point event animatable. We have to succeed with this. Does that work? Or I have to add parentheses? I guess I have to add parentheses. We can decode. This might have actually been the problem. Decode dot. These names are close. Right. Could probably call that leaflet. That'd be fine. We're going to be doing data animated logic all over the place. Animatable. Okay, and we wanted to do that so that this... Oh. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So there's probably a multi-step process. And there's intermediate steps where we don't match. Where do we start with you? Let's see. So the toggle animated, that ends up sending a leaflet.anim overlay. I wonder, did I not do this properly? Okay, static, 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 static. So it doesn't say respond to one. Maybe it's kind of like if I start double clicking it, so maybe we're getting messages crossed? So the feedback loop is because the thing we're calling here ends up sending stuff back to Leaflet again. So this is, and explain this is probably flipping stuff too. So this is indicating a user intent to change that, and it wasn't changing. So maybe we're actually evaluating that somewhere in this process, and then we're just getting back to where we were. So this is kind of an asynchronous data synchronization thing. Yeah, so this is not like this is like clicking something is a user intent, and it's also kind of a self event. This is feedback from things that are happening inside of Leaflet, but that happens for all kinds of reasons, and in some cases we've seen multiple times on one event. But Leaflet has the data about what static invisible layers are shown. So maybe I just need a separate field. Well, what I specifically want to know is if there is any animatable layers on there. So that could actually run us back to just being another Boolean type of thing. So that I can use that to synchronize our play button thing here. So you probably don't need to do the main data animated. The fact that those could be out of sync is a little bit disconcerting, but I don't know when I can like call this as a settled state. So I may have to track this as a separate thing from like being data animated per se. You know, leaflet animatable or something. And then I can use that to inform if there's a play button there. All right, we had leaflet in here. So we've got data animated. Map animatable. And then this just turns into model. Might want to rename some stuff here, and this is a full message. So no loopback loop. Okay, so that was just a little bit lagged out. So that works fine. Oop. This is following some data animated. So these are just kind of keeping in sync right now. The difference comes when we go to something like this that is not animatable and we still have a play button here. So now we can go into the view and we're putting a different field through here. So we only put this through here for this. Okay, editor issue. Now I could actually do the logic up here and say like play available or something. Animatable. We're only care about one case. Anim table. Animatable. which we copied, probably completed. Animatable. Okay, so initially there. Okay, go to there, go back to there, it disappears. And we preserved our animation status there. So far, animate, we want to go to server. Yeah, so we're still tracking it here. So this stuff, well, these are kind of irrelevant. I might want to look at what this does. Animation options. So should you handle that? Log slider, subsection control. Is getting an entire model. Okay. Do we have a note for this? Yes. This is probably... Did that fix you? I don't know my ranges right now. Okay, yeah, it's server 1. But actually what we want to do is from other servers. And then we go over here, and yeah. Yeah, I got that problem. And yeah, it's like kind of both not visible and still a little glitched out. That was, yeah, I did have that done as a problem for this. It's a separate problem though. Did I have, yes, we had it from leaflet. Track, leaflet, animatable state. And then there was going to be some further refinement. But now it's lunchtime. That's what I'm usually on. Guaranteed coding day would be Monday morning, and then sometimes evenings as I feel like it. And oh dear. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support from subscribers. And all the new follows who like to see some Elm going on, have a good day.